Alright lads, so it's that time once more. What does the Brave Souls community feel about the new 10th anniversary part 2 characters? Our first set of season 3 1000-year Blood War characters in Brave Souls, with a new Bankai Renji, RENJI Jushiro, and also one of our few anime original editions, a Volstern Ditch Uryu. I think the character selection this year round is actually very strong. I'm super happy this banner got a trailer. That was something that was very unfortunate and for some reason lacking during the 9th anniversary. Part 2 just didn't get a trailer. And all 3 characters here are very powerful, which is what you want to see during an anniversary. There's no wasted character here. Everyone is great in their own way. And I'm super excited to hopefully try and get these characters when they do release on the 31st. And before we do go over the comments, I do want to quickly say some of the good and bad things that I like about these characters. Renji in particular, I love this character's gameplay. I called almost 2 years ago that they would turn Zagatepo into a charged strong attack 3. Super excited they did that. Visually, in-game he looks amazing. His special animation is great. For his artwork though, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just a very awkward pose that they put the character in for the artwork. I'm not going to say the artwork is bad. It's just, again, a very awkward pose of him, like, mid-action. So realistically, in terms of Renji, if there was anything I'd change about him, it would be the artwork. In regards to Jushiro, I think his artwork is good. I'm very surprised they made him the spiritual pressure banner of the unit. I mean, if you watched my initial reaction when I saw the trailer, I assumed Jushiro would be the Brave Battle character because despite him having a very big moment, you know, holding the 3 worlds together, he doesn't actually end up fighting anyone, and I didn't really think they'd make him a spiritual pressure unit. I'm not against it. I was actually rooting for this character to get a unit, and I was quite surprised by my recent comment section. Everyone is open for this character getting a new playable, really good spiritual pressure character. And I get it, because this pretty much is going to be the last chance for him to get a really good, powerful character, and Caleb didn't waste the opportunity. I still think, though, for an anniversary, Jushiro maybe shouldn't have been included in this banner. I'm not opposed to him, again, getting a good, strong SP unit. But the main thing about this banner, to me at least, was the Uryu and Renji fight. And I feel like Uryu's first addition to the game as his Volstern Ditch should have been a playable SP character. Now, I know, he's going to get more characters. And that likely is the reason why Caleb made Jushiro the playable SP unit as opposed to Uryu. Because again, Uryu, this is from the fight with Renji. He showcases moves and has an additional fight, granted that one came first, against Ichigo. He's going to get another character in Season 4 of 1000-year Blood War. So likely, almost guaranteed I would say, we are going to get another Uryu. So right now, it's not that big of a deal. I'm kind of okay with it, that he is the Brave Battle character. Because in the long run, he's going to get more characters. But I feel like for his first addition to the game, maybe he should have been an SP unit, and then the second character could have been the Brave Battle character. Again, these really are just nitpicks, but in regards to Jushiro too, if I was, again, to be maybe a bit more critical here, the strong attack visuals on Jushiro isn't really that great. Most of its SA1 and also 2. It's quite understandable too, this character doesn't have any fight scenes. The fact that he's even getting a unit is great as is, right? But the visuals on his strong attack 1 and 2 are very simple, and I really believe turning his visuals into like black Mimihagi effects would have looked a lot more cooler. But I guess they are trying to stay true to the character, I guess, because, you know, Mimihagi doesn't actually attack, so I guess it wouldn't make sense if there was Mimihagi effects in the strong attacks, but, you know, it's a game. It's not that big a deal. Would have just made him look cooler. So, yeah, really the only nitpicks I have here is Renji's artwork, is Jushiro's strong attack 1 and 2, and maybe I would have preferred if Uryu was the SP character, but I do understand why they made him the Brave Battle character, and I'm not hating that Jushiro is a good SP unit. Again, I was rooting for him to get a character, but I feel like for an anniversary, maybe it should have been Uryu instead. Jushiro could have been done at a later time. That was my personal opinion, though. Let's see what you guys have to say. So Urahara Desu is saying, y'all better be excited for Jushiro because he probably won't get another good unit for like 5 years. 140 likes. I didn't know Jushiro had this many gunners rooting for him. I mean, I'm sure most of us were surprised too when Uryu ended up being the Brave Battle character, but I honestly thought there would be more backlash regarding that. But I think most people do understand that, you know, Jushiro's not going to get many more characters. Uryu's going to get more characters. Maybe it's a big deal right now for Uryu fans, but you're likely going to see something that we saw with Renji in particular, right? His first character was a Brave Battle character. Most of us were upset when that happened, but then we saw his performance in Core 3, and it's like, okay, never mind, he's going to get a good unit in the future, and he got exactly that. So Elias is probably saying the similar thing. Considering this is most likely Jushiro's final moment in the series, I'm glad he got a truly stellar unit to send him off. And also replacing Zombietta finally. That's one great thing about the killers and attribute combination for these characters too. They both have perfect killers, and they're both just very good units. Bankai Renji finally got justice with an equally as amazing spiritual pressure unit. Glad they didn't just leave him off as a Brave Battle character. As for Uryu, while it may suck right now that he is a Brave Battle character, we can say for sure, considering his upcoming scenes in the anime, he'll get an SP unit for those scenes in the future. So him being a Brave Battle character isn't the end of the world. Still, he seems great for the mode for those that play in it. And yeah, Uryu's great too. And again, Uryu is going to get 2 characters. Technically, he can get 3 characters from Season 3. We did talk about that at the start of the year. He could get a character based off his fight against Senjumaru with the red eyes and like the unformed Volstern ditch. That one's really stretching it, to be fair. But I even said in the past too that Senjumaru could get another character based on her summoning the hollows, right? They could actually do that if they really wanted to. But more specifically, he is definitely going to get a character based on the fight with Ichigo. And likely that will be paired with another Ichigo. Why not? Bob is saying Jushiro looks amazing. We will get another Uryu, but this was his last chance for Jushiro and Renji, so I'm happy with the decision to make Uryu the Brave Battle character. So happy Jushiro got a character, he deserves it. Uryu can wait for end of year. Probably not end of year. I don't think we're going to be in a rush to get a new Uryu, but I've been calling it, really hoping end of year is going to be Bankai Shunsui, Bankayama. Still sucks for Uryu, but I get letting Unk Jushiro have a broken unit as his Make-A-Wish wish. That is crazy. That is crazy. Really hyped for Jushiro. Never expected an SP unit from him, honestly, but glad. Good luck with all your summons. Good luck too. So we have Joe saying, I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting and anticipating an Uryu. I've saved up 5 Rainbow Special move sources, and he's the Brave Battle character. I just wish his first 1000-year Blood War character would have been an SP unit. And yeah, I get it, right? I mean, I think most of us agree and are fine with maybe him being the Brave Battle character now, because again, he is going to get another character. But at the end of the day, regardless of the situation, regardless of what's upcoming, having your favorite unit turn into a Brave Battle character isn't the most exciting thing, right? Sometimes it can be a bit disappointing, and that's fair, especially when it is for such a cool character like Volstern Ditch Uryu, one of our few anime original editions. But you know, other characters have had it worse. Big Sergeant doesn't look like he's going to get a new character, and he's pretty much been relegated to Brave Battles for like his last 3 units. At least there is more to come with Uryu in Brave Souls. Hopefully, though, it doesn't take too long for his next character. So this that is saying, gonna say it again. We should have got an opening stat boost before Persistence Breaker, in my opinion. Yeah, I probably agree. Renji's mix of Lacerate, Burn Plus, Lacerate Plus is interesting. His damage potential is crazy, especially with the EX move and the Resonance in co-op modes. That's something too. If we ever get like hard content in the future, more hard content in co-op content in particular, Renji's gonna be crazy when you group in other storybirds. But even in this upcoming epic raids, man, he is going to absolutely rinse that, especially if there's a full lobby of, you know, Renjis, because at that point you're getting 60% more strong attack damage. And yes, finally an OP Jushiro. It's been years, and even then he was a NAD normal attack damage auto legend, not a cracked SP unit. This part 2 is one for the books. And yeah, Jushiro hasn't had it like too bad, I guess, considering again he really doesn't fight in the anime. But yeah, his Beyond Bankai was a really good unit. Like this lad is stating, was an auto legend. I remember Max transcending him, always used him a lot when he came out. But also the last time we actually got a really good spiritual pressure Jushiro was during the 1st anniversary. And that character was kind of special because he was one of the few characters in the game for a very long time to have Frenzy +1 and 20% Berserker. Now, nowadays, that's terrible, right? But back then, during the 1st anniversary, was kind of crazy. He was really strong when he released. And it took us years, in a way, to finally get a character with Frenzy +1 and a 20% Berserker. Kat is saying good skills across the board, but the animations visuals are lacking in my opinion. Jushiro looks bland. I know he didn't do anything, but Caleb is more than creative enough. I think they are. And again, I feel like they should have included more Mimihagi effects, but I feel like it was a conscious choice that they didn't want to, if that kind of makes sense. Maybe they are trying to stay too true to form with this canon character, because Mimihagi doesn't attack at all. I would have loved to have seen it, but maybe it wouldn't have made sense. But again, it's a game. I think would have been better. Renji looks messy. Kind of a letdown, because Renji was my top 3 core 3 units. That's surprising. That's actually really surprising. I thought Renji looked perfect. At least for me, regarding Renji's visual appearance in-game, based on his strong attacks and Sobum, I think he looks as good as he could have been. I mean, you can always get better, I guess, but I thought Renji was actually perfectly fine. Moichiro is saying, I only did 1 pull on the anniversary banner because I was waiting for this Renji since the last Bankai Renji. I was chilling and quaking under my blanket watching your videos, seeing how anime accurate his moves are. OMFG. That's what I'm saying, his animations are good. I was giggling seeing Uryu as the Brave Battle character. That's crazy. And that's how my GOAT treated him. This one's personal. This one's personal. Renji, though, deserves this W in BBS after putting all that work in the anime. Hey, I'm here for it, man. I agree. I like them, but Uryu is a PvP. Meh, only 10 steps. Fair enough. I believe everyone had the same reaction at the start. Incredibly hype for Renji vs Uryu, and then suddenly confusion and surprise at a random Jushiro came with the other two. It was also funny too, because again, like this main banner is about Renji vs Uryu. And even in the trailer, the way they introduced Jushiro was really cool in my opinion. And in a way, it was very similar to how they revealed Fullbring Bankai Ichigo in the end of year banner where, you know, they quickly show the first two units and then it all goes black and it's like, yo, hold on, who's this third character? Oh my god, it's Fullbring Bankai Ichigo. They kind of did the same thing with Jushiro, which is kind of funny. But Ichivan is saying, that being said, the characters are sane. Love the artwork, love the move animations for all, except Jushiro. He has a cool SA3, a cool sword bomb, but a literal random tornado SA1, SA2, and EX move. Maybe because they ran out of moves to create, nevertheless, still a bit random. Again, it's just one of those ones, like, he just didn't do anything. The fact that he even got a character this, like, really good is the most surprising thing, right? But they then go on to say Renji is an incredible looking character and I look forward to seeing him as an SP unit last year. But Ichifan continues saying Renji is an incredible looking unit and I looked forward to see him as an SP unit last year and Caleb pretty much nailed it. Even Uryu is one of the best, if not the best PvP character. Easily the best PvP character. And he definitely will be dominating PvP for some time. We'll have to see. You never know. Jimmy is saying Jushiro is a very underrated character. His sacrifice was the most emotional moment in Core 3 and he deserved some love. I only wish he had Black Aura for all of his attacks. I think everyone shares the same opinion regarding Jushiro's attacks. And that realistically would have been the only thing I would have changed in Jushiro's gameplay. Best in banner is definitely Renji, both gameplay and also meta-wise. Bro got his justice after last year's shaft, so there is nothing to complain about. I'm not very surprised that Uryu is PvP. He'll get another unit probably next year alongside True Shikao Ichigo remake, since a lot of the attacks from their fight are yet to be adapted in game. Yeah, this one is strictly focused on the Renji Uryu fight. There is not a single attack from Ichigo's fight included into this character, which again I think is a good thing. And we kind of called that, right? We said before the character came out, like honestly he showed enough just based on those two fights to actually get two characters. I thought they would just make one unit and trying to include everything, but I'm really surprised they are making two units out of this character, but he deserves it, I guess. Overall, it's a very good part 2 banner, better than 8th and 9th Annie in my opinion. I would agree on 9th Annie. 8th Annie, as a whole, yeah, you definitely have more value here, but Yatsuri Unohana is Yatsuri Unohana. I think she's the most exciting character to come from part 2 out of the last 3 years. But as a whole, a collective, you know, Yama and Chojuro weren't that great for part 2 of the 8th anniversary. And part 9, the characters were good, but, you know, they didn't even get a trailer. So it's like, it kind of felt like even Caleb were treating that as like an end of the month unit or end of month banner. And also part 2 of the 9th anniversary caused a lot of controversy due to the character choice. I don't think I've seen anyone really complain about part 2 of the 10th anniversary's character choice. I know some people maybe will see it in this comments wanted a Bankai Shinsui, but I think a lot of us understand that he's likely being saved for end of year. At least hopefully. Cyan is saying incredible work done by Caleb for making Jushiro the headliner of the banner. Renji's also broken. I especially like his 2-stage charge strong attack SA3 and also SA2. We all wanted a proper SP Uryu, but given he is a brave battle character, his kit isn't half bad by any means other than the SA1. Solid banner overall, can't deny that. BBS India is saying very happy Jushiro got a broken character and Renji as well. Hope everyone reading this sweeps the banner in just 5 steps. Best of luck. You too, and I personally need that luck because again I'm like 40 multis deep now over the last 2 months with no new character. I really need my god tier luck for this part 2 because I want to get all 3 of them. It would break my heart if I do 25 steps and I have to pick one of them or one or another unit on the pity ticket. That would suck. Where's my oiled up version of Giselle and Uryu? Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. I don't care what y'all say. Jushiro is a W. The hate feeling hella forced right now. And if Uryu is a PvP unit, that's cool too. You know Caleb is going to drop another broken Uryu sooner or later. I mean, you know, I don't think there's any hate towards Jushiro. It's more so the Uryu fans just being disappointed that he's the, you know, brave battle character, right? Which again, even though he's getting a new character, you're allowed to feel a bit disappointed regarding that, at least as of right now. In the long run, you'll be fine with it, but right now it's valid. There's like saying this banner feels criminal and valid at the same time. Kind of, but again, it seems like everyone's just accepting willing to give, Jushiro a chance. Let him have that good unit, because again, it is his final character. At least Blood War character. So as I said, in my opinion, this couldn't have been a better outcome. I've always been a fan of Jushiro, and the last time he received a good unit in SP1 of that was way back in 2019, the Mind Hollow Killer. You're right, that was actually a decent character for his time. And it was only a good unit in the game's 10-year lifespan. That's not entirely true. Again, the original Speed Jushiro was actually a solid unit. I'm also happy the salty Renji haters are mad. It's their big moment. They deserved OP anniversary units. Jushiro being the third 10th anniversary character was the cherry on the top. Mega Might is saying really like the characters. Jushiro is really good and will probably be the only good character he gets in a while. Also, it's the closest thing we have to a playable Soul King. I guess that's one good way to look at it. Renji is Zaraki 2.0 with a better killer. That's true. And Uryu is going to be one of the best Brave Battle characters in the game and his first playable Volstern Ditch. I know people will most likely call this Jushiro Mimihagi Jushiro, but I will be calling him Dying Guy Jushiro because I think it's funnier. That is crazy. Mr. Defect is saying out of all of them, in my opinion, Uryu deserves to be the Brave Battle character. We're still getting 3 more 1000-year Blood War Uryus, while we're never going to get another Jushiro. I'm also pretty sure that it's the last significant moment from Renji. They could probably stretch another Renji. It really depends if they do something in Core 4. We know we are getting a lot of original content in Core 4, so we don't really know what to expect, besides, of course, what already happened in the manga. But yeah, this likely is going to be like the last really good Renji, so again, deserved. Fillers aren't as good as Part 1, but it isn't awful. I like it. Wish everyone good luck. Fillers definitely could be better, though. I feel like they didn't drop the ball in the fillers, but they went crazy with Part 1 fillers. My expectation with Part 2 fillers wasn't quite met, in my opinion. But, it could be worse, could be bad. Random Clips are saying character choice is perfect. We will likely never get another Jushiro. When was the last good Jushiro? The Hell Nad version? I wouldn't call that a Hell character. But maybe I see where you're going from. After Renji being a Brave Battle unit last year, it's only fair to give him a good SP character. We will get many Uryus versus Ichigo. And there's also the Core 4 character. Finally, justice for Jushiro and Renji, although I don't know how to feel about Jushiro since there was no attacks in the anime from him. So, again, a lot of people share the same opinion. Happy that Jushiro gets a good character. And I think most of us, Jushiro, even if understandable to a certain extent, would have looked a bit better visually in his strong attacks. Tech is always getting the short end of the stick when it comes to soul traits. That's kind of true. They don't really have that many amazing soul traits. I'm fortunate enough to have the good ones, to be fair. And now even the EX soul trait is the worst one yet. It's definitely the most limited one. I think every character... yeah, I would agree with that take. It is by far the worst one because it's only for technique characters that can inflict lacerate. And right now, I can't really think of a character that can do that. But hey, I guess in the future, any technique character that does have lacerate is going to benefit from a link, an EX skill that this character does offer. Only Nini's can save us. Please, Caleb, don't screw Nini's resurrection. I'm just glad we didn't get the semi-exact Renji as a Brave Battle unit. Wesley is talking about the anniversary as a whole. The anniversary's been terrible. No new Senkamon, no 9th anniversary Senkamon, bad fillers in Part 2, no free Blood War. We don't really hate to talk about the anniversary as a whole, but give it time. We are quite literally only a week into the anniversary. I've been seeing a lot of comparisons, regarding the 10th and 9th anniversary. As of right now, just based on Part 1, 10th anniversary has been better. Not by much though, but all the good stuff during the 9th anniversary came in Part 2, and we've not yet seen what Part 2 has to offer. There's already signs regarding the new exchange shop, so it's way too early to comment on how good or bad this anniversary has been. So this lad is saying, so sad that Jushiro got special treatment, kind of going against the curve. The popular opinion. If that was the case, then at least the PvP unit be some other Quincy and not Uryu. But at the same time, right? If it was to be a random Quincy, let's just say, I don't even know who to use an example, Pineda, right? We'd have no idea how many characters Pineda's going to get. He technically right now can get 2, but he very easily can just get 1. In a way, maybe it does make sense to give it to a character that we know is going to get multiple characters from that very season even. If that really was the reasoning why Caleb made Uryu the Brave Battle character, it probably is best case scenario. Even though it's maybe, to some people a bit disappointing now, in the long run, it's going to work out better. Hint despite is saying I'm down for it personally. I've been seeing a lot of negativity in regards to the character choice. Seems like most people wanted a more hype banner like Bankai Shunsui, but I think it fits better for an end of year. I think so too. Again, right now, like the 2 big banners for me from Core 3 was Renji vs Uryu and also a Bankai Shunsui. Again, hopefully with a Bankai Yama. When it comes to anniversaries, you combine 2 banners. You have Part 1 and also Part 2. And that's not to say, Part 2 shouldn't be as exciting as it can be, but as a collective, I think this anniversary does work with the character choicing. Sure, we could have gotten a more exciting part 2. Again, Bankai Shunsui as a whole, I think is one of the more exciting characters that can come from Season 3. But I also do think he works better as an end of year, because an end of year banner is a solo banner. There's no 2 parts. There's more focus on the character choice, if that makes sense. Because, if you don't like part 2 of the anniversary, you have part 1. If you don't like part 1 of the anniversary, you have part 2. End of year, it has to be perfect characters. And yeah, Bankai Shunsui definitely works better as an end of year unit. Characters though look great, specifically impressed with Jushiro's art, and they all look incredibly powerful. Uryu being on the back burner is a little off-putting, but the fact that he's going to get at least 2 more characters makes it okay in my books. Fillers could have been better, but overall looking forward to part 2. So Tony is saying something similar to what I said at the start of the video, right? I know Jushiro doesn't have any moments left in the anime, but Caleb should have put him in a different banner, like another end of month, not with Uryu. Uryu should have been an SP character rather than the PvP unit. And yeah, I agree with that. Even though I'm excited for this banner, I personally would have been more excited had Uryu been the SP unit, and maybe not have Jushiro as the Brave Out character, but someone else. I'm not sure again who that third character could have been, but I do think in a banner that consists of the main characters, right? As a collective, you had Ichigo, Uryu, Renji, and Rukia, main characters, and then Jushiro ends up being the highlight unit, I guess, in one way for part 2. That's why I was expecting him to be the Brave Out character, because he didn't do much fighting, but also he's paired with main characters. I know Jushiro's popular, and I get it, and I'm fine with it, but I feel like this part 2 would have worked better as Uryu with the SP unit, and then just make a really good Jushiro like in 2 months' time. Or heck, even end of year. Even though I want a Bankai Shunsui and Bankai Yama for end of year, and that would be like best case scenario for me, I would have also taken Bankai Shunsui with Jushiro. That would have been really cool to see. Crazy saying, I'm really happy to see Jushiro. He is my top 5 favorite characters. Can't wait to summon on this banner. Finally a good unit for him. Renji looks sick, and Uryu, he'll definitely get an SP character with more value in the future. Overall, very happy. Would rate this 8 out of 10 because I wanted a good SP Uryu too, but yeah, we just need to wait. Aaroniero saying, I'm hyped. The stats are crazy. I was caught off guard with Uryu being the Brave Out character, but I accepted it and I knew it would be best, realizing he's going to get the Renji treatment in the future. And let's be honest with ourselves, Jushiro is not getting a new character anytime soon, so I don't mind. I'm just saying, I think this was the perfect character choice for part 2 of the anniversary. If they made a Bankai Shunsui with Liege or let's say Yamamoto, it wouldn't have been a big enough celebration. These characters deserve part 1 of the anniversary or end of year. I'd be curious too, because right now I guess the big question is, even though it's a whole year away, what's next year's anniversary? Because unless the season 4 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War anime starts at the start of the year, January, we're really not going to see part 4, season 4 units till after the 11th anniversary. So are we going to go back to canon anniversaries? Does that mean a certain big moment character, let's just say hypothetically Bankai Shunsui, are they going to make us wait a whole year for that? Are they going to give him during the end of year? Because Bankai Shunsui is not releasing outside of those big occasions, anniversary or end of year. I guess we'll find out when end of year rolls around in like 6 months. Because if we don't see a Bankai Shunsui or Bankai Yama for end of year, they're definitely saving them for part 1 Annie or maybe part 2 Annie, but they would work better as part 1. Alternatively though, we could still get original designs. Again, Soul Ascension has basically been almost all but confirmed at this point to be a series. Multiple characters are going to get those new original designs. And the question is more so when regards to that. Let's start saying, so glad to have a good Jushiro in game. I never thought they'd make a unit for Mimihagi Scene, but it works. It's super cool. The next ring, Strong Attack 1, Strong Attack 2, should have been Black Mimihagi attacks. I'm actually glad Uryu is the Brave Out character. Night characters are fun too, and his only other normal attack damage character in the game is a dinosaur. His attacks look great, and I'll be glad to use him in Brave Battles daily. Disappointed Orihime wasn't in the banner instead of Renji. She needs a good broken SP unit. And that's the thing too. Again, I stand by the opinion that when it comes to normal attack damage characters, if they are designed for either guild quests or Brave Battles, I prefer Brave Battle characters. Like if my favorite unit was to end up being a normal attack damage character, I much prefer them being Brave Battle, because then I would use them daily. I play Brave Battles daily. Guild Quest, you only get to use them once when their phase comes around. Although obviously in a perfect world, you would love for them to be like a 1000 Year Blood War Aizen tier normal attack damage character that isn't really designed to be used in a game mode and designed to be an overall good normal attack damage character. Malik is saying a very good strong start to Core 3 units. Even as a Jushiro fan, I was genuinely shocked he was the banner headliner. but I'm all for it because when else are we going to get another OP Jushiro? Uryu's in a similar spot to Core 2 Renji. While it's disappointing he's the Brave Battle unit, I'm fine with it because he does much more in Core 3, could get a second unit, and his visuals are amazing. No complaints about Renji, he's great. I was expecting Aizen. Given your name, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I mean, Aizen again is going to get a character. That's guaranteed too. Right now, it's just a matter of when. So Helvard pretty much summed up the situation that a lot of people are saying, to be fair. So Ripperman says this, I like him. The big talking point is obviously Jushiro and Uryu. Personally, I don't hate it. However, the banner to me feels like something where, while every choice is justifiable, they all come with a but. I'm a Sergeant fan. We can kind of see where this is going, right? So seeing all of his final chances get wasted on PvP units always felt painful. Therefore, I can't get mad at Jushiro getting a great unit for his big moment, but Uryu did way more in Core 3, but Uryu will get future units to make up for this. But this is his first appearance in this form in-game. And that's, yeah, kind of the weird one, right? Like, we know he's getting more characters, but also you would likely make the second unit the Brave Battle one, right? Not the first one, because all the hype comes from the first one. But then again, to be fair, Renji's hype. So when we get that second copy of Uryu, his SP unit, it will be more hype. And I do think, again, of the two units that should be Brave Battles, the Uryu fight, it probably does make sense making the Renji fight the Brave Battle one, because I do think he has more climatic attacks when going against Ichigo. I think he'll make for some great soul bombs. Even if it is off-putting, I personally like it more than last year's Part 2's banner, but widely it feels somewhat in line with that one. Questionable, but justifiable and kind of cool. Not disastrous like some exaggerate. The units themselves are at least very good, and I'm extremely happy to get a good Renji, as he is my second most wanted unit from Core 2. My gripes though are that Uryu and Renji's summons are kind of all over the place and feel unfinished, and Jushiro could have used more Mimihagi effects. Midnight J is saying great picks, and I'm actually a little shocked at Jushiro. And I could be overthinking this, but I think the reason they picked the characters the way they did is because of the 10th anniversary. They're going for more Ichigo-centric with the character selection. So for example, Ichigo's the main character. Rukia is the duo-antagonist of this series, a close ally to Ichigo. Renji, same with Rukia, another close ally and friend to Ichigo. And then Uryu, Ichigo's close friend, who in this time is turning evil and beknownst to Ichigo, has a reason. But as it stands, he's currently Ichigo's second main foe, who sits at second because Yuha is Ichigo's #1 foe. And yeah, it pretty much is just main characters, right? So again, maybe I would have included Orihime, maybe a Chad instead of Jushiro, and then turn Uryu into the SP character. But then that would also mean that Chad and, Orihime have to take the fall as the Brave Battle character once more. These would probably be obvious picks for an anniversary revolving around Ichigo, but as far as Jushiro is concerned, I personally believe he was chosen mainly as Jushiro's backstory with Rukia and also Kaien, linking towards Ichigo. That could be a big brain theory on why they done that. Jushiro was also the one to make Ichigo a substitute Shinigami, so I feel he played a decently strong role that I feel some people forget about or just don't care about. With everything at stake, Jushiro also sacrificed himself for the world, a pretty hefty toll, all things considered. So I feel like putting that moment into a really busted card does him right, and also makes him fit decently well in this anniversary. I don't think I'd want anyone else right now over him. That's a good way of looking at it, to be fair. So next up, we have a Renji fan saying, huge Renji fan, super satisfied with this character, overall 10 out of 10 kit and skills. But the character icon, 5 out of 10. Yeah, again, right now, like the only bad thing about Renji is the character art. It's just such an awkward character pose. I feel like his character artwork should have been more stationary in a way, more character posy, similar to Jushiro and also Uryu. Aloha is saying this banner should have been Uryu, Renji, and Gerard. So Gerard can be the Brave Battle character. I like Jushiro, but I don't see him as an anniversary round 2 hype SP unit. He could be like Shinji in an empty month where he gets a strong SP character, but ain't no way they sharded Uryu for this. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Again, many people accept it because again, he's getting an SP character, but I do think maybe for an anniversary, Uryu, Renji, Gerard, and Gerard being the Brave Battle character would have been a bit more exciting for me. Because again, regarding Gerard, he can right now get 2 characters based off of Season 2 with the Quincy Wings, and then also based off of Season 3, where he does briefly use his Shrift ability. Also, Gerard, I think everyone would be accepting of being a Brave Battle character because it's Gerard. Some characters just fit the Brave Battle mold, and Gerard is easily one of them. I will be significantly surprised if his first character, or any character that matter, is an SP unit. I feel like his first addition to the game kind of has to be a Brave Battle character. While this is a really good banner, not going to lie, this anniversary overall feels like the 7th anniversary all over again. Let me explain. Part 1 features original designed characters that are mind and speed, which introduces features which would greatly alter the power scaling of Braceos and would be used by future characters. 7th anniversary had shared status immunity and Uryu had the gauge. 10th anniversary, for example, has the EX skills. Meanwhile, Part 2 is a focused 1000-year Blood War banner with power, technique, and hearts, and all make use of those new features that the anniversary characters did bring, with power and technique being the more focused PvE characters, and heart being the one to dominate brave battles. It's just something that I wanted to point out, considering it gave me some deja vu, and in a way, that's the best way to handle anniversaries. Both Part 1 and Part 2 are great, the best characters in the game. They're all in different attributes, different killers, so no one is, really colliding with each other. You have 5 individually very valuable and great units. Character selection traits during the 7th anniversary was strong. I would say this year it's also strong, even if I do have my very slight nitpicks. And also, most importantly, Part 1 is original designs. Part 2 is Blood War. We're not going to have the same complaints that we had during past anniversaries, where 8th and more specifically 9th was just focused on 1000-year Blood War, or like, for example, during the 6th anniversary, where we only had original design units. The best balance for any anniversary is definitely 1 original design and 2 canon. Sometimes both can work, both canon, both original, but if you're not a big fan of either one, it does kind of suck when you don't get what you want. This way, original design fans are happy and canon fans are happy. Thursday is saying, taking in consideration the characters, damage output, stats, usability, I'd put this banner above anniversary banner with Yuha, Yamamoto, and Aizen. That's a crazy statement, because I think Part 2, right now to be fair, 3rd anniversary probably had the best Part 2, even if the characters weren't all great. But it was a 4-character banner, it was the first time we got something like that. But Yamamoto, Yuha, and Aizen was a crazy banner for Part 2, because it was the return of Blood War, so it was kind of special. And it also, most importantly, featured like the 3 big characters, so I guess that's a good thing regarding Part 2 that you do feel that way. Mr. Blueplant is saying, not gonna lie, I was really hoping for either Uryu and Renji or Ep6 Yamamoto. And thankfully, I got what I wanted. Kinda. Can't believe I didn't see this one coming, but Uryu being the Brave Battle character is a big bummer. Better him than Renji getting the Brave Battle character twice in a row, since there's bound to be at least 1 or 2 more vote stunted Uryus in the future. Jushiro also makes sense to get a good SP unit, as this is likely all he's going to get regarding 1000-year Blood War anime characters. So knowing what we know, including swimsuits, I guess they're saving things like Bankai Shunsui and Episode 6 Yama for later, hopefully end of year. Again, man, end of year, best case scenario. They can go a few different routes. We could get Yuha, we could get Ichibei. But Bankai Yama and Bankai Shunsui is a dream come true banner for me. I want to address this comment. I wish Senjumaru had been treated like this. It could have been so much better if this treatment for end of year banner were the same like this. And yeah, that's true. Right now, it's expected end of year and anniversary characters are going to be broken. But by far, looking at what we have gotten over the last 7-8 months, right? They really did do Senjumaru dirty. She's a really good character. I love that they introduced the status and plus all of her attacks can inflict different status and she has great visuals. But she was an end of year unit. How did they give her Captain Killer Plus? How did they give her Frenzy Plus 3 only in Guild Quest? Rukia right now, the 10th anniversary version, is a prime example of how to handle a character like that. She got a Squad 0 killer, she got a Stammer killer, but she still performs better than most characters when off killer. And in her case, Rukia, she's never going to have killer. You can use Rukia a lot outside of Guild Quest. With Senjumaru, more of a Guild Quest character. What have I become is saying I'm not strongly opinionated on any of the units, but I find it funny when people talk about Jushiro's visuals. I'm confused. Did you expect him to cough up blood in the tracking vortex when he collapsed or something? Sure, they could have done some weird black visual with Miyagi, but I don't know. The whole thing is funny to me. So it's mostly just one of those ones, again, making the characters look a bit more impressive. The black Miyagi effects would have just made him look cooler. But also, most likely the reason this didn't happen is because it doesn't really make sense, I guess. But again, it's a game, it would have been just cooler. So let's scroll down and have a look at some other comments, maybe one's going against the curve. And in this case, we have Gin saying, this is literally the 10th anniversary, not the 1st. Most of us have been in this game for at least 2 to 3 years, and they chose to return this event. And for what? To receive units we once owned 3 years ago, for real? I don't mind if they make Uryu a NAD unit at first, later SP character in the future, but a NAD character is very far off with a Brave Battle unit. I mean, no stats whatsoever, a bunch of Brave Battle skills that are used outside of Brave Battles, and soon to be replaced with another Brave Battle counter skill. Up to this day, I'm still using 1000-year Blood War normal attack damage Aizen. He's still fun to use, and I ain't gonna lie, it's kinda tripping seeing Uryu like this. So, to address that, right, I don't know what you mean regarding this unit that we received 3 years ago. We've never had a Jushiro like this before. The only character we had recently was Renji, and Renji was a Brave Battle character. And we've never had a Volstandage Uryu in-game, let alone a 1000G Blood War Uryu in the last like 5 years exactly. The last Uryu was 5 years ago. So I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, but yeah, the whole Brave Battle situation, that's understandable. But I guess in one way, 2 SP units sell better than a SP and normal attack damage character. While I would have loved another Aizen like this, you know, a really good normal attack damage character, in a way it would have came at the cost as one of them being a normal attack damage character. Because during the 7th anniversary, there was 1 SP unit, 1 normal attack damage character, and a Brave Battle unit. I prefer SP characters, it's that simple. I would love to get a new normal attack damage character like Aizen. Not against it by any means. But I also prefer to play SP units. So if they were to turn, you know, Jushiro or Renji into a really good normal attack damage character while also keeping the Brave Battle characters Uryu, I wouldn't have preferred that. I would have preferred 2 SP units. But, you know, also at the same time, because I do like to mention a lot, right, regarding the release schedule for K-Lab, it does take 6 months for K-Lab to make the new characters that we just see in the anime once it finishes airing. So this was, as expected, the start of 1000 Year Blood War Season 3, and if you aren't going to do Bankai Shunsui, the next best thing really is Renji vs Uryu. Alex, I'm disappointed. I was hoping for a Volstandig Yugrim. Has Yugrim used his Volstandich? That's not gonna happen. Base BG9 for, I want a BG9, I'll be honest, but for an anniversary is kind of crazy. Pineda also would have been cool. Soul Ascension, Chad, and Orihime. Give it time for that. I don't think both parts of the anniversary should have been original units, but give it time. I'm sure a Soul Ascension, Chad, and Orihime will happen. A new Yuha would have also been cool, but Core 3 Yuha, while he does activate the Almighty, it might be a similar situation to Jushiro. He didn't really do much. He did fight, to be fair, so they actually can do something, but he wasn't even using his Almighty when fighting against Ichigo, so yeah, I'm curious to see what they are going to do for a new Yuha bug. But hey, heavy on the Yamato, I agree. Yamato would be cool, but again, maybe they're going to save that for end of year with Shunsui. This guy's saying they're cool, but I don't know. To me, it's not hype enough to be called part 2 of the anniversary. It just feels like another end of month. Everything in this anniversary kind of feels underwhelming, such as a big deal like the 10 years. So maybe it's just me being disappointed that all these units can't hype me up enough. To each their own, again, there are just some characters that aren't going to release outside of a special occasion, and Renji vs Uryu is one of them. It was quite a big deal when it got aired in the anime. It was a really good episode too. So I wouldn't say it feels like a normal end of month, especially with how good the characters are. Last year's part 2, which was also heavily controversial, was kind of a disappointing part 2 because we wanted Bankai Ruki at the time. And Sergeant, Tosha, and Soifon really didn't live up to the hype that we kind of set for ourselves. With this, while we didn't get the Bankai Shunsui, Uryu vs Renji is actually quite an exciting moment and episode in Blood War. Kaji is saying, yeah, nah, this is a goated banner. Everyone that wanted SP Uryu because he didn't have a character for 2 years, you guys need to chill. Hell, just look at Sergeant fans. Bro was always putting the short end of the stick he could, and always got a Brave Battle character. I think Uryu fans can take one for the team. Joshua getting an OP character, sign me up. I'm happy that we're finally getting a strong unit that isn't just a popular pick. And to be fair, Joshua's not that far off from, you know, popularity status. I think he's the least popular of the 3 in this banner, but still popular enough because he's been part of the anniversary 3 times now. So, you know, regarding Jushiro, it's not like it's the first time he's been in part 2. He's been in part 2 3 times. During the 1st anniversary, 6th anniversary, and now 10th anniversary. And thank God they actually made Renji an SP unit. Bro went from the biggest disappointment to one of the strongest units in BBS. So with that, the video might have went on a bit longer than intended. I've currently been recording for an hour. Hopefully I can narrow that down with a few edits and make it under 30 minutes potentially, maybe 40 minutes. Appreciate you've stuck around to the end, but right now it seems like the reception is very positive regarding this banner. Renji is an absolutely amazing unit. So is Jushiro. Despite the character being really good, his visuals could have been better if Caleb just went down a different route, including more Mimi-Hagi effects. Personally, I feel like Renji's art could have been a bit better, just the pose changing would have solved that problem. And Uryu looks great. He's going to be a good Brave Battle character, but for his first introduction to the game, people expect him to be an SP unit. Like of any character, a popular character taking the PvP slot, there's going to be some disappointment, but many are open for it because it means Jushiro can be a really good character, his last Blood War character, right? And we all know Uryu's going to get more characters. So if you are disappointed in Uryu being the Brave Battle character, similar to Renji, hopefully in the future, your time will come and you'll get a really good strong unit. While yes, we had to wait like 3 years for a new Uryu from his initial 1000 Year Blood War character character when the anime first aired, that's because Uryu didn't do anything until season 3. He's done stuff, he's been doing stuff, and he's going to continue to do stuff. So this is by no means going to be the last Uryu, and the wait for the next one might not even be that long. Overall, I'd say the W banner. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.